Women should get drafted.
Nope.
Nope. Okay. All right. Should we take away the vote for women? What? You realize that that's how men got the right to vote, right? Is being subject to military conscription.
Honestly, if you took away my right to vote, I wouldn't be upset.
Any other ladies here want to weigh in on the voting thing?
Girl, for your body, like what if you're and you get pregnant?
Not supposed to say that word.
I'm so sorry. Okay, I think.
What does that have to do with voting?
Because you're voting for rights over your body, like rights over.
Even if women didn't have.
You're voting for so much stuff, but that's what's included. Like women's rights are getting like rolled back with all of the laws.
SA has been criminalized even before women's suffrage. You do realize that, right?
Yeah, but you know that they're trying to make. I don't know.
Yeah, you have no idea what you're talking about.
No, I don't want to say the words on here. Can I say that? Baby Eater 3000, when you get rid of your baby. They're trying to make that
abortion
illegal. Yeah, I'm scared to speak on here. I'm so sorry. Yeah, they're trying to make that.
Who? They got rid of Roe v. Wade, which just put it back to the states.
Yeah.
The states decide.
Yeah, so but now some states don't allow, right? So why, as a woman, would you give up your right to vote on things that have to do with your body? And everything else. There's so many other things, but that's just like one example.
Well, I'm pro-life, so there's that.
Okay, but would you feel the same way if it happened?
Like I said, if I didn't have the right to vote, I wouldn't be upset.
That's so sad for women, honestly, and our society.
I disagree.
The feminists coming out.
Are you saying that like your husband would vote in your best interest? Not about the abortion issue, but
absolutely, my husband would vote in my best interest.
You would trust that.
Yeah. Being a good wife is being able to submit to your husband and trust in his decisions to lead.
Yeah.
I think what the problem is that we've lost sight of the real traditional nuclear family that is supposed to be valued. And if things were the way that they should be and that we do have those values, then yeah, the woman wouldn't really need to vote.
I mean,
in
if
today's
the man
society,
is representing her well, then I can see that.
In today's society, you know, I do like the right to vote, but like I said, maybe if I'm changing the perspective to if I never had it, I don't think it would affect me. But now that I've had it, if they were to take it away, that's kind of different.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think.
Wait, I have a question for you, Maddie. If a guy gets a woman pregnant and she wants to keep the kid.
Yeah.
But let's say he's not ready to be a dad. Maybe he's not mentally ready. He doesn't want. He's not financially ready.
Okay.
What do you say to him?
Did he consensually make the choice to come in this woman?
I'm not sure where you're going with that argument, but sure. Let's say yes.
If you come, sorry, let me point you. If you come in a girl, then you are consenting to the idea that if she could get pregnant, and you are doing that willingly, knowing that she has the choice now because it's in her body.
Okay, so as a woman, then, if you consent and you want a man to come inside of you, and you realize that that carries a pregnancy risk, are you saying that would you not be in favor of her or would you not be in favor, Jesus, would you be against her getting an abortion?
I'm not against abortion.
Okay, well, I'm a little confused there. So you're saying you think that consent to sex on the man's part, or consent, like coming inside of a girl, means you are consenting to being a father and being financially obligated to 18 years for child support?
When you come in a girl, that is what you are doing, right? What you come in a girl to try to get pregnant. Like now people do it for fun.
Or you could just think it feels pleasurable.
Well, it doesn't matter because biologically that is what people do to get pregnant. So you don't get to say
Wouldn't that apply to women
fun.
too?
To get came inside?
What?
Yeah,
What
you,
are you
I mean,
You're letting it-
no,
Women
yeah,
like
we
that,
can-
but-
you let him do it.
You let him do it,
Let him
yeah.
penetrate you without a
Realize
condom.
like that's a risk you're taking. Is
Not-
getting
No,
pregnant.
yeah.
Not only did you let him penetrate you without a condom, you're also more aware of your cycle. You're aware of your closer to ovulation. He doesn't necessarily know that. You know what stage in your cycle you're in.
But are you arguing that like the man shouldn't have to be a father to the kid or should have a say in whether the baby is
Well, it's
had or
interesting
not?
because you're basically, so you're saying that if a man consents to sex, then he's also consenting to
a risk of pregnancy.
which you acknowledge he has. If the woman chooses to,
Then he has no say in
he
because
has no
it's
say.
not growing in his body.
So the man should have done what? He should have kept his legs closed. He should have not had sex.
There's protection or there's trust in the person that you're having sex with.
Sometimes those things fail.
Okay, but
What if the woman lied that she was on birth control?
There's
then
still
that's
plan
just-
B.
No, but what if she wants to keep the
no,
kid?
that's deceiving. I don't agree
Okay,
with that.
but-
I've seen it happen.
But legally he would still be obliged to pay child support.
Yeah, but you're still having sex with the person. You know what? Birth control fails too. I've seen people get pregnant on IUDs.
But it's interesting that how you have, so you're saying that it's more ethical, or well, you're saying that killing an unborn child is better than
Better than what?
a father abandoning his child.
Killing an unborn child is better than a father abandoning the child?
Like that's more acceptable.
I'm arguing that that women should have a rights to their body. And
But we're talking about a
How about-
life. Like if the woman decides
it's
to
not a
have,
life, it's a few cells clumped together.
but it will produce
it's
a
still
life.
your body, though.
It's
Like,
it's gonna produce a
Someone
life.
can't force you to give birth.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah, but you also had a choice. You have a choice to not have sex.
So did the man.
Yeah,
But
you're
so
both
why-
you're both
to not
taking
come, which is a lot easier, is it not?
When it comes
to
to,
not come.
To
What do you mean?
She again donated $99. Whoever just sent the last message is lying. I messaged Maddie asking for a naked squatting video an hour ago and still haven't gotten a response. Maddie, message me after you're done. You're beautiful.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. It's just interesting, like, people who, like, when you look at the male perspective when it comes to perhaps an unwanted pregnancy, you guys, your arguments are basically pro-life arguments, but for men. You should have not done that. You should have kept your legs closed. Too bad. Suck it up.
And
Enjoy
reverse applause to you.
the 18 years of child support. But a woman, here's the other look at it. A woman, you would tell a woman who says, I'm not financially ready to have a child. You'd be like, totally fine with you getting an abortion. A woman who's not ready to raise a child, you'd say, totally fine with you getting an abortion. But when it comes to the man side of that equation, you're like, tough, suck it up.
He doesn't carry the baby.
Doesn't matter.
But it's his semen.
Tell you what, how about this? So if a man fails to pay child support, we've done away with debtors' prisons in the United States. You cannot go to prison for a financial debt, except when it comes to child support. And this is definitely a gendered issue because men are overwhelmingly the ones that are legally compelled, typically through the mothers, this is something mothers seek out. Men are legally compelled to pay child support, and if they don't, they're going to be jailed.
Okay, but see,
That is taking away their bodily autonomy.
But I would
And
not.
you're forcing them to labor, and pay money that they would perhaps not want to give. That's taking away their bodily autonomy. You'd force them to work.
But I'm arguing that women should always have the choice if they keep the baby. I didn't say it was right that men have to pay for the next 18 years, whether they're involved or not.
I agree with that.
That's what I'm saying.
We're just saying that like a woman should have her own choice over her own body.
But it's interesting to me, though. You're talking about bodily autonomy, but you say that men shouldn't have bodily autonomy because they get drafted into war.
What?
Men don't have bodily autonomy because they're subject to military conscription.
They're not carrying children.
I don't see how that's relevant.
I do.
I would actually argue that forced military conscription is a bigger infringement on bodily autonomy than abortion. A woman's lack of ability to get an abortion. Do you disagree?
Can you say it one more time?
Okay, so here's the difference. So, I would argue that forced military conscription is a bigger infringement upon bodily autonomy than a woman not having a legal right to an abortion.
I'd say they're almost similar,
Really?
honestly.
Really? Okay, so forced military conscription is your government saying, despite your desires, we are going to pluck you out of Kentucky, put you in a war zone where, let's look at World War I. You're going to be in a trench for months. You're going to see a bunch of death. You're going to have tinnitus because of all the because of all of the shelling that's just bombardment nonstop. You're going to have trench foot. You're going to get chemical gassed. You may very well just die, or if you're not, you're going to be a casualty, and you'll have, perhaps substantial physical injury. And if you don't have physical injury, you'll have significant mental injury. They called it shell shock. There's been different names, PTSD. I would argue that the state forcing you to do that versus a woman who, for example, consents to having sex and she has an unwanted pregnancy and she's not capable of getting an abortion. So my position, again, is it's a bigger infringement upon one's bodily autonomy to be forced into war than you not being able to undergo a medical procedure.
It's not just a medical procedure.
That's actually exactly what it is.
But if you don't do it, it is a life. It is a full person.
You could give it up for adoption if you were so inclined.
If you're not ready to carry the responsibility of motherhood, then you're not ready for sex. That's my opinion.
You could give the child up for adoption. So your argument about, it's an 18-year commitment isn't necessarily true.